guess my biggest concern for this is you look at the last 2 seasons under Mike Norvell, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Mike Norvell, but he has not beaten Louisville. That's a fact. He hasn't beaten Louisville. He hasn't beaten NC State. Those are 2 teams that have gotten him in his first 2 seasons in Tallahassee. But I want to see how Florida State plays after their big game. You look at the 2020 season. Florida State at home beats the number 5 ranked team in the country in North Carolina. The following week lays an egg against Louisville, a 1-win Louisville team on the road. Last season, you would argue probably Florida State's biggest win of the season, I would argue was probably Miami at home. I would say Miami was slightly a better team than North Carolina on the road. Though North Carolina on the road was a big game, I would say Miami at home was a bigger win for Florida State to get that first win under Norvell against a rival. The following week after that, you have a good first half against Boston College, a sloppy second half, still holding on for a win against BC. That's going to be my question: is which Florida State team is going to show up after the big win? Yes, you've had 12 days between the LSU game and when the Louisville game kicks off. But that's going to be my question: is are we going to see the Florida State team like we saw last season, or are we going to see the Florida State team that laid the egg in 2020 against Louisville on the road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that goes to what, starting off this show is maturity. Has this team moved on from all that stuff from last year, Jason? Have they gotten that out of their head? Because they got all the national attention in the world. And, FSU fans gave it, and they deserved it. They came away with the win on the road. I know Florida State fan base did an incredible job of showing up to that game, but still, you're on the road. It's a heavy LSU crowd there in New Orleans, and more comfortable to LSU players and Florida State players being in that stadium. Is this team moved on from that? And we're really going to find out, Jason, on Friday night if we're starting to hit that turn that we've been waiting for. Are we out of that whole kind of, yes, we've got the win and everybody, let's celebrate, let's break the rock, and all right, cool, season's over, we did that. There's a lot of season left. There's a lot left. There's no time to think about that anymore. And I like the way that the players went out to practice the last 2 days. It was a little lousy last week. It was a bye week. Guys dinged up. It is what it is. You don't have scout team running. There's not a lot of competitiveness going on. Norvell's limiting a little bit of the shorter practices. But this week, I've liked how everybody's looked. Definitely your leaders. You look at Jared Verse, who had a great day yesterday. 2 sacks right off the bat in team offense versus defense, 11-on-11 team. And then you look at J-Trab the last 2 practices, sharp like he did on an LSU week. Everything looks good. It's just going to depend on what they look like under the lights up there in Louisville.